Imperial Agents got buffed. Astra, the astute observer might ask, there's been no data slate. There's been no rule changes. What are you talking about? Well, this week, Warhammer 40,000 had one of its ever so frequent FAQs to clarify all the many loopholes in Games Workshop's rules writing. So what does this mean for Imperial Agents? Well, you can find the information on the Warhammer community website. There are many other factions that were also changed here, but for the sake of this video, I'll be focusing on Codex Imperial Agents' FAQ page. The new FAQ for Agents is as follows. While using the Imperialis Fleet Detachment, if I attach a character to a unit selected using the Clandestine Operation or Combat Landers Enhancement, does that character also gain the ability conferred by that enhancement, i.e. Infiltrators or Deep Strike respectively? A. Yes. This is a big change up for these enhancements, as prior to this FAQ, the presumption in almost all cases was that these effects would be applied before you attach the characters to the unit. For those of you that don't know how this interaction works, this meant that you would give a unit Infiltrator or Deep Strike, and then when you attach the leader, if the leader doesn't already have that keyword, then the unit would functionally not be able to use the keyword, as not every model in the unit would have the keyword. So previously, the workaround for this limitation was that you would provide multiple units with this buff, as the Imperial Agents enhancements listed gave 3 uses of this buff. So you would give a leader and its squad both this buff, and then attach them to one another, and then they would still be able to either Deep Strike or Infiltrate respectively. Previously, a common play with these 2 enhancements would be to give 3 Subductor squads Infiltrate, creating a large wall of men, which I've talked about previously in my guide, which you can check out here. And the other would be used to Deep Strike typically 3 squads of Voidsmen due to the limitation it has on being used on Voidfarer units only. But this is no longer the case. If you want to, you could infiltrate a Subductor squad with a character. You could infiltrate, let's say, a 10-man Death Watch squad with a Watchmaster or Watch Captain Artemis, or you could do similar with any other leader/troop combination in the Codex. An important example is if you wanted to use the Deep Strike bonuses provided by the Combat Landers enhancement, you would have to use it on Voidfarers models. This was very restrictive, as it meant it had to attach specifically or be used specifically on Boys Men at Arms, Navy Breachers, or the Rogue Trader Entourage, or the Navigator in a pinch as a scoring unit, I suppose. Now, specifically, this enhancement says unit. This means if you now attach a non-Voidfarers model to a Voidfarers unit, you can provide the entire unit with the Deep Strike buff and drop them wherever you like. The most important targets for this change are any of the Inquisitor units. All of them can be attached to battle line units, which means they can all attach to Navy Breachers. Specifically, this works best with the generic Inquisitor or Inquisitor Draxus if you're trying to play this competitively. Obviously, there's other Inquisitors you can choose to apply this to, but these are your best 2 options. While this isn't strictly a damage increase, which is probably what Agents needs, especially into vehicles, this is a huge bump in potential mobility for your powerful units, notably the Death Watch squads for the Infiltrate buff, or Inquisitor Draxus or Inquisitors with the Deep Strike buff. Lastly, it can't be understated how much of a flexibility increase this is against various different armies. When playing against different armies, you might want to give Infiltrate or Deep Strike to different units, depending on if you need more scoring units or more aggressive damaging units like the Deathwatch veterans. Being able to add leaders to units to do both of these things at lesser cost is a great change to allow this detachment to switch things up on the fly depending on the opponent you're playing against. What do you think? Let me know down below what you guys think of this change, whether there's other areas of the detachment or the army as a whole that need similar changes, and remember to like, subscribe, and all the standard YouTube pleasantries. Doing so helps the channel grow, and also remember to check the description below to join our Discord server where you can talk to me and other people that want to talk about these armies. Unfortunately, I couldn't get this video out as soon as I'd liked, as I was out of the country at the time visiting some family friends, but hopefully I'll be back soon with more content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.